What's up guys, Mitch from the DIYRecordingstudio.com, and today I've got another Hold Your Gas episode. We're going to talk about some of the latest gear releases from high-end manufacturers, some of the cool products that are coming out or getting some attention in the DIY community, and then maybe some plugins that are worth your attention that are a little bit outside the box of the usual things that people are looking at. So we've got heaps of great content to talk about this week. Let's get into it. So 2 weeks ago, we looked at Behringer and the release of their copy of the Neve 33609, the 369. And maybe shockingly to some people, maybe not so shockingly to other people, it actually basically sold out. You can't get a hold of any of them and you can pre-order them, but some people snapped them up pretty quickly and then now they're all on pre-order. So if you got a hold of one already, you're lucky, or maybe you had a bit of an inside scoop from the suppliers. These are selling like hotcakes. I can see why, because they're super cheap. Wasn't really a surprise to me. I'm definitely going to try to get my hands on one of these because value for money, they're pretty cool. And then from your comments last fortnight, it seems like most of you are keen to hear it too. Whether it's good or bad, who knows? But we'll find out, that's for sure. Now, keeping with the Behringer news, last week they released another Neve clone product. It was the Behringer 1273, and what's crazy is that they're saying it's going to come out for under $600. That's two complete Neve preamp channel strips with high pass filters, the whole 1073 preamp and EQ circuit. And to me, this looks very similar to the products coming from Warm Audio and Altron and a bunch of other manufacturers that are doing these units. It'll be very interesting once again to see what this sounds like. Now, they're probably going to keep doing the thing they're doing with putting their own Midas input transformers on these things. That's what they seem to be developing in this line of products. If they've got it in the compressor, they're going to have those Midas input transformers. So what'll be interesting is whether they still opt for that or do they put legit Carnhill transformers in there. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. All that we have as details is that it's going to be, you know, stock standard Neve specs. What's cool is that besides your mic and line ins, there's also a return and send on the back. It's got its own internal power supply, so no line lumps or anything like that, which is kind of cool. And then with the 3 EQ bands, the low shelf is the standard frequency ranges, and as are the others. What they're doing on the high shelf is offering 2 extra bands, the 10 and the 16, as well as the standard 12 that you get on a typical classic 1073. And then everything else is pretty standard as far as a Neve 1073 EQ and preamp goes. Really cool. If they're going to be doing these Neve products and maybe some other products as well, and competing at this price, it really could change the market because it pushes these high-end developers to maybe have to push their prices lower to compete. Look, whether you like Behringer or not, it's only a win for us as consumers. If the product's good, it's a win. If the product's okay, but not great, maybe it pushes the prices down on some of the other products so people can afford them. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment sections down below. Would you purchase one of these channel strips, a Neve clone from Behringer? Would you go out and spend $600 or so? Now, I should mention, in Australia, they're not going to be $600. The retailers are already putting them at $1,200. So, ba-bow for us, you know, classic Australia, man. We always pay such a premium. Our dollar sucks at the moment compared to the US dollar. We're just getting owned on these prices at the moment, but even sounds easy, have them at $1,200. That seems to be the going price in Australia. On launch, maybe they'll come down a bit, who knows. If they're offering them for $600 overseas, they should be a bit cheaper in Australia. It's not really a fair price. Look, let's see. It's still an amazing price for a Neve channel strip, a dual Neve channel strip with EQs. We can't get anything close to that over here, so, you know, might be awesome. In my last video, we talked about the DIYRE clone in the 500 series of the Neve 1073, and it was the 73P, and they launched this about a week or so ago, and it sold out on launch day within 2 to 3 hours. It's pretty crazy, so you can't get a hold of them yet. There'll be more available from September, and what Peterson has said is that if you actually missed out on the pre-order sale, they will be in stock 100% by September, and it will be ongoing in stock forever after that. So there shouldn't be any issues with supply from then on. This was just a smaller kind of pre-sale order from the beginning. So very, very cool, very exciting to see how quickly they sold out of them. Obviously, a lot of you are interested in this 1073 from DIYRE. They do amazing kits, and I'll tell you now, I have one coming on the way very soon. Stay tuned for that. There will definitely be a build video to go with the 73P from DIYRE that I'll be doing on this channel. If you've ordered the 73P and want to follow along with my build, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and let me know in the comment sections down below. Did you already order one of these? Were you lucky enough before they sold out? I'm pretty stoked to have one coming real soon. Now, in other DIY news, we have another company that I really appreciate and that I've been working with a little bit lately, micparts.com, and they had a great write-up in Sound on Sound magazine. They were lucky enough to get a review of their small diaphragm condenser, the SDC84, which is a clone, if you're not aware, of the KM84. And just to be clear, this is a clone not of the KM184, the modern recreation of the 84. It is a mic designed inspired by the actual 84. If you're not familiar with these two microphones, the KM184 is the modern version and the KM84 is the original vintage one. The vintage one has more low end to it. They're different in sound, and most people want the KM84 as opposed to the KM184. Now, they're very expensive, of course, vintage microphones. We all know they're going to be crazy in price, but if you want to get one, this SDC84 is an amazing microphone. I'm trying to get my hands on one for review here. There's two versions. You can get the standard version, or you can get the version to use on snare drums that has a higher SPL rating so that you can use it on louder sound sources, i.e. snare, which is a really great use for this microphone. Anyway, there's a great write-up here if you're really keen to read about it, but if you're in search of a KM84, not the KM184, if you want a cheaper option, check this one out. In even more DIY news, Sound Skulptor just today, launched a new promo video of this. I'm gonna play it. Way. Anyway, what it seems to be is a new tube saturator prototype that they're working on over in their lab. If you're looking for some kind of new tube saturation in 500 series, Sound Skulptor have something on their way. This could be very cool. It'll be interesting to see what circuit this is, kind of inspired by. What I'm loving here, you've got drive and level, and then you've got a high cut and a low cut, and then I'm not sure what this is down here, maybe an output volume or something like that. But this looks like a really cool saturation device. It has a lot of potential. Those of you that watch this channel know that I've built a bunch of products out of my own money from Sound Skulptor. They don't sponsor this channel at all, but I do like their products. I've got their Neve 1073 clones in my studio. They get used all the time, and I've got a couple of other pieces of their gear as well. But that said, Jean-Pierre, if you catch this video, hit me up, man. Anyway, moving on. In plugin news, we have a really cool release from a company that I'd never heard of before. The company's called Nembrini Audio. They've just released their version of the Big Muff Pi distortion pedal, the fuzz distortion pedal, as a plugin for free. Pretty fucking cool. Sick. All right, and it has this 15 dB switch, so you can pat it down and then the distortion characteristics changes, but let's have a listen. Oh, and I should give a big shout out here to Suede Effect. They're a band that I recorded this weekend in the studio, and this is their track Hoo Ha that isn't released yet, but they've given me the go ahead to use their songs that we recorded in some of my YouTube content. So go check them out. I'll put links down below. Anyway, I'll solo up this bass. Let's have a listen. Now in this part of the song, it's supposed to be clean, but let's just chuck it on so we can hear it. The tone thing does the big muff kind of tone thing. That's pretty cool. Sick. Man, I mean, it works exactly how I'd expect a big muff to work. I love that pedal. It's one of my favorite bass distortions of all time. This is pretty sick. I'm digging it. And then let's flick this switch. Cool. So if you flick the 15 dB pad off, basically you're just going straight into like hardcore fuzz. If you put it on, you have to push the sustain, which is really the fuzz distortion, a little bit harder to get it to start going into that. So you have a bit more of a dial to sort of push into that. I have a vintage big muff, so it doesn't have this little switch, but I think on more modern ones, they have that. Anyway, very, very cool. I mean, this is sick. Let's see what it sounds like in the mix. Man, that's pretty cool. For a free plugin, that's definitely one that I'm going to be using. So shout out to Nembrini Audio. Go check them out. If you're clever and you go to their website, you will also find that not only do they have a copy of a big muff there, they have a bunch of other products for free as well. Go to their pedals. They have a wah, the rat, and everyone's favorite overhyped, overly expensive guitar pedal, the Klon. And an 808 as well. So they've got all the basic pedals that you would need for distortions here. I would definitely go and grab those. Go grab them, get them. That's sick. For free, man, you can't go wrong. Very, very, very cool. I'm going to try out the rest of these pedals over the next week because they're some of my favorites. And in final news for this week, it is coming up to, well, we're now in the middle of June. We're getting towards the end of financial year, and that means there's going to be lots and lots and lots of end of financial year specials. If you're in Australia and you're one of my new Australian viewers or one of the Australian viewers that's been around for a while, the government's going to be giving us a bit of extra tax back. So we're going to have a bit of extra money to spend this year, which is kind of cool. Now, if you have some income that you're looking to spend, what are you going to be spending it on? I'm pretty interested to hear where everyone's going to be putting their money. Things are pretty tight at the moment for most people in our country. So are you going to be spending it on audio gear, or are you going to be holding onto it for maybe other things? Either way, there's going to be lots and lots of specials on plugins and hardware related. I think if you're going to spend some hard-earned money, you should maybe refrain from buying plugins too much and look at some hardware options, because remember, hardware has resale value where plugins do not. So if you want to put your money somewhere that has maybe a return, or at least in the future you can actually get some money back from that, maybe not as an investment, it may not accrue even more wealth, but at least you can sell it for what you bought it for. Hardware is obviously a good option for that. Just a little note going into the end of financial year, especially to my fellow Aussies out there. Anyway, let me know in the comment sections down below, which products are you most excited for? Are you keen for the new Neve channel strip? Were you lucky enough to get your hands on one of the 73Ps from DIYRE? Have you come across mic parts before? You guys know I love that company, so let me know in the comment sections down below. Have a good chat down there, and I'll catch you in the comment sections. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm Mitch from the DIYRecordingstudio.com. I'll catch you soon.